You worked so hard for that payout and then you blew it. Again, you tell yourself it was just a mistake, a one-off, a moment of weakness. But what if it wasn't? What if there's a part of you buried deep within your psyche that doesn't want you to succeed? Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychologists of the 21st century, called this the shadow. In this video, I'm going to put the light on and expose the invisible part of your psyche that keeps on sabotaging your trading success. If you've ever hit a payout only to break your rules the next week, gotten so close to consistency only to blow up your trading account, or watched yourself self-destruct while knowing better, this video will finally help you understand why and give you a step-by-step guide to reclaim your power. Now, I want you to comment below your biggest trading psychology challenge. I want to offer you some insights. Carl Jung had a famous quote where he said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Until you make the shadow conscious, until you shed light on the shadow, the dark part of your psyche that you're unaware of, it's going to direct your perceptions, decisions, and actions split seconds before you're even consciously aware of why you're doing what you're doing, and you're going to call your life fate. But the truth is, you're doing every perception, decision, and action for a very particular reason. Even these so-called self-sabotaging, self-destructive behaviors in your trading, they're all run by your subconscious mind split seconds before you're even aware of it. And by understanding your subconscious mind, by understanding the shadow, you give yourself a significant amount of power and understanding of your actions, human behavior in general, why you do what you do, and you're now able to have more control over the so-called destructive behaviors and construct yourself into a trader that's doing action steps that are conducive with consistent profitability. The reason why this is so important is because for a normal individual, an individual who isn't trained on awareness or their psychology or the unconscious, 99.96% of information sits in the unconscious. What that means is 0.04% of information is only conscious at any point in time, unless you're asking yourself quality questions, unless you've trained your awareness and your ability to look inside and see the unconscious information in any point in time. 99.96% is going to lay dormant in the subconscious mind. It's going to direct your life. It's going to run your decisions and actions, and you're going to call it fate. So if you feel as if you don't have control over yourself or your life or your destiny, well, this might be an interesting eye-opening video for you. Over the last 9+ years, I've been personally trading myself, and I've worked as a performance coach for many successful traders. I've seen a consistent theme pop up. And without a doubt, being a trader allows you to expand as an individual. Trading is the best form of personal development out there. Why? Because the market's going to reflect back onto you your own insecurities, your own blind spots, your own emotions, and it's going to make you face whatever you're trying to run away from. If you throughout your life had issues with losing and you were condemned and criticized for losing, you've got pains associated towards losses through sport or through school or through previous relationships, or if you've got unresolved childhood trauma, or you've got significant charges logged in your mind towards certain individuals, or on the flip side, you have really elating experiences around relationships or previous wins in business or in trading or in school, and you're more of a proud individual, then without a doubt, trading is going to make you face that and it's going to bring it to surface. And every painful loss you experience as a trader, every pleasurable win is going to resurface out of the subconscious mind associations that have been left unaddressed. And if you want consistent profitability, you're going to have no choice but to face these things and to address these things. I think this is why the success rate for traders is so low, even those traders with a profitable strategy, is because most traders aren't willing to face their own stuff and they're not willing to address that. So when the market reflects back onto them their own pains, their own pleasures, they can't handle it. And a lot of the times they're not even aware that that's their own stuff. They just think that the market's doing something to them or causing them pain or causing them pleasure. But the truth is the market's one big neutral mirror. All the market is the pricing in of supply and demand for any asset at any given time. To make that good or bad is your interpretation, it's your perception. To make price movement to the upside good and price movement to the downside is your own judgments, your own expectations. It's not the market. The movement of the market is completely neutral. The market's just taking in information, supply versus demand, and it's pricing in an asset. We make the good and bad based on our previous life experiences, our subconsciously stored interpretations, and whether we put the buy or sell on. And what's interesting is when we label price movement to the upside good, the person who took the exact opposite side of our trade is labeling that bad. So it's us as individuals that project our own expectations and our own stuff onto the market, and we make the movements of price up and down good or bad. That's not the market, that's us. And many, many years ago, I wrote this statement that I shared with all my students. I want to read it out to you because it's, I think, very important, very relevant. I said that the market is a mirror. There is no doubt in my mind that the market is just one big neutral mirror. The market constantly reflects back onto us the weak spots, the oversights, and the holes in our trading plans, our routines, and our psyches. Did the market really make us angry, or were we just trying to impose unrealistic expectations onto it? Did we really suffer a loss of a funded account, or did we gain the perfect opportunity to have drive and motivation to make our plans, processes, and psyches more effective and efficient? Did the market really betray us, or were we exaggerating ourselves and thinking that we know better than the market, and we betrayed ourselves with our own unrealistic expectations? The market is doing exactly what it's designed to do, to move, price in supply and demand, and if our expectations are unrealistic, it's going to humble us, so we can listen to it. I've seen in my own journey and the journey of my clients over and over again that our emotions and our blame are purely feedback mechanisms telling us we are missing parts of the picture. At the end of the day, the market is a neutral mirror. Any insecurities, any doubts, any fears, any resentments, any so-called losses, these are all a reflection of us, the trader. Remember, when we blame and point one finger at the computer screen, there are three pointing back at us. Next time you find yourself blaming or getting angry at the market, catch yourself, figure out what role you play in it, not to beat yourself up, but understand what is it bringing up. What is the market bringing up in your own psyche that you've left unaddressed? To realize that you are the cause of your own effect and you have total control of how you perceive the events that are happening in your life and in the market, truly extract the lesson and move on to the next trade. It's a realization and take accountability that how you feel isn't a result of the market, it's a result of your own perception of what's happening in front of you. And your perception's framed by your subconscious mind. So from early childhood to your early adulthood into your adulthood up until now, you have certain associations logged in the subconscious mind. And research is even coming out to show that there's even moments before your birth from your parents and their judgments that then become epigenetically programmed into your DNA that affect how you perceive things as well. So not only from your childhood up until now, but prior to your childhood, through epigenetic programming and reprogramming and tagging of your DNA, it's been shown that we have logged associations based on the judgments of our parents and based on our own perception of our unique life experiences. And, everybody has a unique set of DNA. Everybody has a unique physical makeup to their brain. Everybody has unique life experiences. And even two individuals who are put through identical life experiences are going to have different interpretations of those life experiences. So everybody has unique interpretations of said life experiences. So every individual has a completely unique set of judgments from childhood up until now. And there are a lot of them logged in the subconscious mind. Trillions and trillions and trillions of them. Trillions of moments of where we've labeled something bad, negative, tried to avoid it. Labeled something good, positive, a win, a gain. And we have these associations of negative and positive logged in the subconscious mind. And think about it. In early childhood, we get called good boy or good girl or bad boy, bad girl when we do something that supports our parents' priorities or values. And we get from early childhood programmed into this thinking that doing this thing that's positive is good. and we should have a positive association to the good, the winning, the gaining. And if we do something that's bad, negative from our parents' value system, we're going to get punished and yelled at. So from the very earliest moments in our life, we get programmed into this good and bad, positive and negative way of thinking. Because what happens when we get supported is we release dopamine, oxytocin, all those feel-good chemicals. What happens when we get challenged and criticized is release these, substance P, enkephalons, all these negative feel-bad chemicals. And the feel-good chemicals go down in our brain when we're criticized and challenged. So we have this inclination towards seeking after the pleasure and avoiding the pain from early childhood. And then early adulthood, what happens? We go into sport and school, and when we win, we get, we get praise and recognition, and people say good work. And when we lose, we get criticized and we get humiliated, and people say bad luck, bad, negative. Losing is bad, negative. Winning is good, positive. We need to seek after the positive, the good, and we need to avoid the negative. This is the programming we get put into. And then in early adulthood, we go into our studies and our higher studies and into a job. And when we fit the criteria and the curriculum and we do what the rules say are good, and we win and we get good grades, we get celebrated and success and good and happy and positive. And when we fail, we get reprimanded and we get held back and we are programmed into thinking that winning is good, losing is bad. I want to seek after this and avoid this. This is what betters my life. This is what worsens my life. So we think, okay, because we haven't gone in there and found the benefits of this, and we haven't found the drawbacks of this yet. We're getting programmed into a way of thinking that isn't the case. Okay? It's just the way society wants us to think, because society wants us to fit into a mold. And when we do what supports society's values, the collective values of society, we're good. So we can fit into that mold. When we do what supports our teachers' values in adulthood, then we're good. When we do what supports our parents' values, early childhood, we're doing good. So we're programmed into this thinking that we have to seek after and support the positive and the win based on the super ego at any point in time. Okay, I think you get the point. And then we come into schooling and trading and investments. And when we win money, we get praise, we get status, we get recognition. We see all these traders on social media and we think, oh, that's what I want, because we get sold the marketing and the lifestyle and the cars and the watches. And we want to seek after this and seek after this. So our whole life, we're programmed into seeking after winning, the pleasure of winning, and the avoidance of the losing. And this is our subconscious programming that's affecting right now where we are, our perceptions, our decisions, and our actions moving in the forward into trading the markets. And then what happens is we become addicted to winning and the greed over winning in trading, and we try to avoid losing in trading. There's a big issue with this. And the big issue with this is that as a trader, once you have your edge by definition means you're going to win more than what you lose. So you're going to have 100 trades and you're going to have a sample space of maybe 60% of those trades you're going to win, 40% of those trades you're going to lose. Losing is part of consistent profitability. Losing is part of the edge. If you're not willing to embrace losing, you're not willing to be a consistently profitable trader, because losing is part of what makes consistent profitability. So in order to be a consistently profitable trader, you have to learn to reprogram the subconscious programming that's been in your mind. This is the shadow that Carl Jung is talking about. And what he's saying is that if we continue to keep the unconscious unconscious, these associations of good and bad are going to influence our perceptions, our decisions, and actions moving forward. We're going to be seeking after this, avoiding this, seeking after this, avoiding this, seeking after this, avoiding this. Unrealistic. And we're going to keep ourselves trapped, cycling in a state of revolution. Whereas if we make the unconscious conscious and we address it, then we now have understanding of why we do what we do. We free ourselves from the associations that we've been programmed into based on our super egos at that point in time. And we are now free to figure out what we want from a life and make decisions based on that. Figuring out what action step is going to help me achieve my true goals. as opposed to being an animal reacting subconsciously split seconds before your human mind comes online, trying to seek after pleasure, trying to avoid pain. Consistently profitable traders address the subconscious mind, and they're now free to make decisions and actions and perceptions that align with their goal of being a consistently profitable trader. Inconsistent, unprofitable traders are run by seeking after pleasure in the individual trade, getting smacked by losses, painful losses, inevitably, and they get stuck in the boom and bust cycle. You see, if you're taking 100 trades based on your edge, based on your sample space, 60% of those are going to be wins. 40% of those are going to be losses. If you're coming to each individual trade seeking out the pleasure of winning, then you're going to be highly disappointed and pained on those inevitable losses. And those inevitable losses are going to throw you away from your trading plan because they're going to create fear and resentment and revenge trading and spiral. And you're not going to be able to stick to your trading plan. You're not going to be able to have consistent profitability. Or you're going to get puffed up when you win on this boom cycle out of greed, and that's also going to take you away from your trading plan. So if you don't know how to address the subconscious mind and the fear and greed that run your trading, you're not going to be able to stick to your trading plan. So one of the best things you can do as a trader is learn to build self-awareness and learn to start asking quality questions that make the unconscious conscious. A quality question is one that brings balance to your mind, is one that makes the unconscious information consciously aware to you in that point in time, so you can be aware of why you do what you do. As opposed to doing something that you label destructive and then beating yourself up for it, that to me is foolish. I'd much rather understand why you're doing what you're doing, figure out the root cause, the programming that's driving that, and address that, as opposed to criticizing the symptom and blaming the symptom and leaving the root cause hidden in the unconscious mind and repeating the behavior. That's foolish. So one of the best things you can do is create a trigger journal and develop self-awareness by asking, if you take a win and you get really puffed up and elated by that into a state of pride and self-exaggeration, asking the question, what does this bring up for me? What is this representing? What is this win right here representing for me? Does it represent a certain moment in my sporting when I got praised and my parents were there and they were really elated and really proud of me and it made me feel really good? Or does this win represent to me that I can provide and that I am successful and I can do what I set out to do? Because there's this time in my relationship where my girlfriend criticized me and I felt like I couldn't provide. I didn't feel like I was capable of that. But this win shows that I'm capable. And that's why I'm getting really elated. So the question of what does this bring up for me whenever you take a win and you get elated? Or what does this bring up for me whenever I take a loss and I get really depressed after that loss? Is this bringing up this time that I started that one business and all my friends and family said I wouldn't be able to do it, and I lost that business too, and it proved my friends and family that I was a I was a loser and I couldn't do it. And is that what this individual loss is bringing up for me? So by understanding what the market is reflecting back onto you as a mirror and what it brings up for you in the subconscious mind is that first step of self-awareness, of you looking inside your own mind and understanding why I react the way I react, what it's bringing up for me. And having this level of self-awareness in of itself gives you more control. It gives you more understanding, awareness, and as a result, control. Now, if this video has opened your mind, make sure you like and subscribe and share it with someone that you know will benefit from it. And before you click away, I want you to click on the screen here or here and watch the 15-minute video that's going to help you bulletproof your trading mindset. It's just going to give you an even more practical tool that's going to help you understand why you do what you do and give you a very practical tool in your trading to ensure you can stick to your trading plan.